So the question is, can you speak a little to your framework for growing businesses? They have a niche, they have a productized service. What's next? Content marketing. So when I work with agencies, honestly, I promise you this, it sounds sometimes like jargon and some people always want like the secret sauce. There is none. There really isn't, right? The secret sauce is solving problems for people and problems that they're inherently willing to pay a lot of money for because it's a pain in their ass. When it's painful enough, people will pay for it. And especially if you can prove that it's tied to a certain growth in income, in revenue. And if you can do that too, we call it anchoring in the sales process. If you can anchor what it is that you're pitching against an expected result, it's really hard for people to say no. It's one of those kind of like no-brainer offers, as we call it. So it really is not an exaggeration that 99% of what I focus on with agencies is positioning, it's offer design, and it's productization. Because once you do that, right, the other part of the coin here is an acquisition. That's kind of like the last part. That's what 99% of people come to us for. They're like, we have problems getting customers. I'm like, yeah, because A, nobody knows what you do because you never talk about it on your social media channels. You think that people are just going to show up out of the blue and want to work with you. And B, you're not clearly like, how can you market something that you can't really put a finger on what it is? So like, and the other part of that too is that when you start working with a single type of business, like attorneys, our biggest source of clients at Weber's is attorney referrals because we do a good job for them. And all we have to do then is say, hey, look, we're trying to grow a business. We're young folks over here trying to feed our young families. And you've gotten good results from us and you're an attorney. And if you refer us 3 other attorneys that you think are in a good position to work with us, then we'll give you the next month free. We're working off referrals a lot there too. And it's much easier when you're only doing one thing because it's one less thing to worry about when you have a productized service because you're only doing the same thing over and over again. So staffing is easier, training is easier, getting results is easier. And the biggest thing here too about acquisition, people want to work with you if they know you can get them results. If you cannot prove that, if you cannot show that, then it's going to be very hard for you. So marketing is really difficult to do until you get to that point. To answer the question now is that once you do get to this point, it's just marketing and it's just communication and it's going out there and becoming that guy or that girl or that person that is known for what you do. Like we all know that person on Facebook or LinkedIn that you look at and they're like, that's the SaaS person. Like that's the TikTok person. That's what you need to do. And that's the other thing that people don't do is they're not willing to dive all into it, whether it's like a case of imposter syndrome, whether it's a case of caring too much what other people think, whether it's a case of whatever. I don't mean to go all Gary Vee on people, but you got to get over it. If you want to build a business, like you have to not give a shit and you just have to do it because you get to a point in your life where you're like, what's more important to me? Somebody from high school who I haven't talked to in 15 years or me feeding my family, and like, you just have to know and understand that you're walking on the right path and you're doing the right thing. And you are here to help other businesses. You're not selling garbage. Like you are here to solve problems. That is proven because people are paying you to do it already. You have to become that person. And that's step one. And like, I tell you, when I don't take sales calls anymore, but when our sales team at the Blueprint, I tell them all the time, like the first thing you do when you get a lead is look at their social media profiles. Because if they tell you they struggle with acquisition and they haven't posted on their LinkedIn, their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram, their YouTube, then that's where you start. Like start talking about what you do. That's it. And that's where you start with it. And from there, you build a little momentum. You start getting results for people. You start asking for referrals, and then you can start doing more aggressive marketing outbound. Hey, I've now helped 5 attorneys to achieve their goals. Why don't I go out and build a list of 100 attorneys that are in the same space that I can pre-qualify because I know how many employees they have. I know how many locations that they have. We can remove the whole conversation of I can't pay for it. I can't afford it. If you're an attorney with 3 locations, you're making bread. You can pay for it. It's just a matter of me getting in touch with you the right way. The next one is Outbound Force. We're always pushing outbound on people and not mass outbound, not this whole like building, burning down domains. It is a one-to-one connection with people that you know without a shadow of a doubt in your mind. If you talk to those people, you have the confidence that you can pitch them and you can get them to work with you. That's 2. And then 3 is paid traffic, right? That's kind of at the end of it. Once you get past $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, you can afford to spend $6,000 to $10,000 on marketing and paid traffic, shooting fish in a barrel once you get there. A lot of times people fail because like, yeah, I've tried Facebook or Instagram ads. Like, yeah, but you can't run Facebook and Instagram ads if you're just like, we do SEO, we do growth marketing. Like nobody cares. But if you are running ads specifically saying, hey, attention attorneys, and you're specifically talking to attorneys or contractors, that's where you can really start to do marketing. That is why this is a whole ecosystem. And that's why, like I said, I don't even talk about acquisition with agencies until they've proven that they've gotten to this point where they're willing to drill in on a single avatar and they've proven that market and they've built an offer specifically for them and they've mastered it and they can speak to it, they can do it, they can recite it in their sleep, and they can then productize that and turn it into a system. And then we can start to talk about acquisition. I think that answered that one. The next one is, do you primarily use testimonials, case studies to anchor the value? Yes and no. I think you'd be surprised how little people care about themselves. They just do. Businesses care about themselves. They care about what you can do for them, not what you can do for other people. So case studies to me are important all the way down to the bottom of the funnel when they're looking at a proposal. We've tested them a million times with ads. They don't work. because people don't care about other people, care about themselves. Your ads should be speaking, your marketing should be speaking to the person on the other side of it and what problems that they have. And another part of that too is that this whole concept of service productization, especially with SEO. So we don't do long-term contracts, and we tested it at the beginning being like, hey, people are probably going to care about this because they don't have to pay for, they don't care about that. They care about themselves and they care about the problems that they're having. They care about it when they have a proposal in front of them and they're looking at 3 other proposals and they're like, oh, this agency's pitching us a sprint program and the other agency are pitching us a 12-month contract. I'll go with the sprint program because it seems like it's going to be less money and less commitment. That's when case studies and testimonials matter too. When you have their full attention, when they're analyzing the cost, the benefit, and the value of your service, 100% matters. But putting it at the top of the funnel, it doesn't matter as much as you think it would. It really doesn't. It's a huge common misconception in the agency space that like case studies and testimonials are their number one marketing plan. There's an agency called Refine Labs run by a really smart guy named Chris Walker. Good person to bring on here too, digital marketer, by the way. He runs a company grown to 20 million in 3 years. If you go to their website, refinelabs.com, you will see 3 pages and they've gotten to $20 million and it has their pricing on it. And their pricing starts at $20,000 a month. They have no case studies. They have no testimonials. They have no logos. They have no blog content, none of that. It's a 3-page website. And that goes to show you where a lot of decisions are being made. They're being made off platforms. They're being made in social media. They're being made through conversations with other people, things that you can't necessarily track and impact so much. Way too much emphasis gets put on. Again, a lot of this just takes a step back. And this is what I always tell folks too, is that when you're a customer, what do you care about? Like, especially with SEOs, like when you use Google, what do you use it for? Are you going to Google and typing in buy blue jeans? Like, you're not. You're going to Google and typing in buy Gap size 32 shortcut black blue jeans because you found it on TikTok, you saw an influencer doing it, or you saw your friend wearing it and they told you about it, right? So much of this and so much of marketing, I don't want to call it common sense, but like we just overthink things. Like, how do you find people? How do you want to hire an agency? What do you care about? What's going to convince you? Not saying that testimonials and case studies don't matter. We still put a lot of value on them because I do think it's important to document and tell the stories of other people, but it's not going to solve your acquisition problems by any means. Daniel asked, when dealing with larger companies as clients, what are your thoughts on offering a free month of service for X amount of referrals? I think that's a fair question. Like, I wouldn't do that as a front-end marketing plan. Like, I wouldn't run an ad or like an email saying like, hey, send us a referral and get X amount off. I think you have to know who's on the other end. I think you have to know if it's even worth you to make that offer to them, because a lot of people might be like, I don't know, dude, I'm just a marketing manager trying to get my salary here. I don't know anyone. I'm just punching the clock. It works very well with attorneys because attorneys are very well networked, and we also make promises to them about location exclusivity, right? It's not going to impact the work that we're doing with you.